Why is your team nodding enthusiastically in the strategy meeting, but completely failing to deliver the actual results? It is one of the most frustrating things you will experience as a leader. The massive gap between what is said and what is actually done when targets are missed. Our automatic executive assumption is usually that our people lack discipline, accountability, or drive. We assume it is a character flaw, but if you look closely, you will almost always find that the say-do gap is not a character flaw at all. It is cognitive overload. In our last episode, we talked about how cognitive overload hijacks your decision-making as a leader, but we often fail to realize that we are actively inflicting that exact same overload onto our teams. In a tight economy, the mandate is always to do more with less. We stack initiative on top of initiative. We hand our teams 10 different number one priorities, but when everything is a priority, absolutely nothing is. You aren't leading, you are just creating a massive traffic jam. You are putting your people into forced cognitive overload, clogging the pipes so thoroughly that nothing can actually flow through to completion. To fix the say-do gap, you have to shrink the distance between your commitments and your team's actual capacity. You have to identify the one or two things that will truly move the needle, and you have to protect your team's focus on those things with your life. This requires one of the hardest disciplines in executive leadership: the willingness to kill a good idea. As leaders, we love good ideas, but a good idea without the adequate resources or bandwidth to execute is not an opportunity, it's a dangerous distraction. If you know your team does not have the capacity to execute a project properly, saying yes to it anyway is a failure of leadership. Saying no to a good idea is not a sign of weakness or a lack of ambition. It is how you protect your team's ability to execute. Here is your key takeaway for today. Saying no to a good idea is the highest form of leadership integrity. It is the only way to protect your team from cognitive overload and ensure you actually move the needle on the things that matter most.